Imagine this. You're sitting at the kitchen table, a warm breakfast, a light lunch, a quick dinner after a long day, all choices that seem simple and harmless. But without even knowing it, the foods you're eating may be quietly adding pressure to your heart. Not because they taste bad, not because they're fast food, but because they contain hidden ingredients that make your heart work harder day after day, meal after meal. Many people over 45 begin feeling more tired, more swollen, more out of breath. They blame age, stress, or not sleeping well. But what if the real cause was sitting right there on your plate? What if some of the foods you believe are helping you, the ones labeled as light, healthy, or low fat, are actually pushing your heart toward failure? In this video, we're going to uncover the truth about 5 everyday foods. These are meals and snacks you'll recognize. You might even have them in your kitchen right now. But once you understand how they affect your blood pressure, your fluid levels, and your heart rhythm, you'll never look at them the same way again. Your heart has been working for you for decades. Let's take just a few minutes to learn how to stop working against it. Food number 1, the healthy breakfast favorite. You wake up, pour yourself a bowl of cereal, maybe add some fruit or a splash of milk, and feel proud. After all, you didn't fry anything. You didn't reach for sweets. You chose something that the box says is whole grain or heart healthy. But here's what most people don't know. Many of these popular breakfast cereals, even the ones that look healthy, are packed with hidden sugars and sodium that quietly strain your heart every single day. The problem isn't just the sugar you taste. It's the kind you don't. Many cereals are made with ingredients that quickly turn into sugar inside your body, causing a spike in blood sugar, then a crash. This roller coaster affects your blood pressure, your energy, and the way your heart functions. Your body tries to balance the sugar, and in doing so, it holds on to more water. That extra fluid creates pressure in your blood vessels, and your heart feels it. Even the ones that say low sugar on the front can be full of sweeteners, preservatives, and refined grains that digest too fast. The truth is, most of these cereals weren't made for heart health. They were made to taste good and sell well. That's why they pour in flavorings, salt, and colors that your body doesn't need, especially not first thing in the morning when your system is just waking up. Now, let's talk about salt. You may not taste it, but it's there. Many cereals contain sodium to help preserve them and enhance flavor. And when you start your day with hidden salt, it builds up throughout the day. Over time, this can lead to swelling in your feet, pressure in your chest, or even trouble breathing, especially for those already at risk of heart failure. You might be thinking, but it's better than bacon or a donut, right? And yes, maybe at Island. But better doesn't mean safe. If you're over 45, even small amounts of sugar and sodium can slowly add up and make your heart work harder than it needs to. So what can you do instead? Choose real food, a small bowl of oats that you cook yourself, a boiled egg, a piece of fruit with a handful of unsalted nuts. These meals don't come in a shiny box, but they speak your body's language. They give steady energy. They're gentle on your system. And most importantly, they don't surprise your heart with ingredients it has to fight. Breakfast is more than just a meal. It's the first message you send to your body each day. Will that message be calming and supportive or stressful and demanding? The choice is yours. Coming up next, we'll look at a snack that many people reach for between meals. It's crunchy, it's salty, and it feels harmless. But it may be one of the biggest silent triggers of heart symptoms. Food number 2, the salty snack that tricks you. It's mid-afternoon. You're feeling a little hungry. You open the cupboard and reach for something crunchy. Maybe it's crackers, a handful of chips, or some roasted nuts from a shiny packet that says lightly salted. It seems like a small thing, just a few bites to hold you over. But inside that small snack is a silent ingredient that's doing real damage. Salt is one of the biggest triggers of heart failure symptoms, especially after the age of 45. And it hides in places you'd never expect. Most people think of salt as something you sprinkle from a shaker. But the truth is, over 70% of the salt we consume comes from packaged and processed foods, not from what we add ourselves. The problem with these snacks isn't just the salt you see on your fingers. It's the salt your body doesn't taste but still absorbs. Salt makes your body hold on to water. That means more fluid in your blood vessels, more pressure on your heart, and more swelling in your legs, ankles, and feet. You might notice you're more tired after meals, or that your shoes feel tight in the evening. These aren't just aging signs. They're your heart saying, I'm working too hard. What makes it worse is how often we snack without thinking. A few crackers here, a bag of chips while watching television, a couple of salty nuts before dinner. It doesn't feel like much, but over time, these little choices build up. And for someone whose heart is already working harder than it used to, even a little extra salt can tip the balance. Some snacks are even labeled baked, light, or low fat, giving the illusion that they're healthy. But many of them are still loaded with sodium. And since salt enhances flavor, companies add more of it to make up for the missing fat. That's why even diet snacks can quietly raise your blood pressure and increase the risk of heart strain. So what can you do? First, start reading labels. Look for sodium content, not just calories or fat. If a serving has more than 140 milligrams of sodium, think twice. Better yet, try making your own snacks. Sliced fruit, unsalted seeds, a boiled egg, or even air-popped popcorn with herbs instead of salt. These options are not only safer, they help your body relax instead of fight. The next time you feel the urge to grab a salty bite, ask yourself, is this helping me feel better or just tricking me into a habit that harms me over time? Your heart is already doing its best to keep you going. These small choices are your way of saying, I've got your back. Coming up next, we'll talk about a meal many people believe is light and heart-friendly, but in reality, it often does the opposite. Food number 3, the light meal that isn't light. You're trying to eat better. So instead of a big lunch, you choose something that feels lighter. Maybe a prepackaged salad with dressing, a sandwich on whole wheat bread, or a bowl of soup from the store. It feels like the right choice, but somehow you still feel tired afterward, maybe a little bloated, maybe even short of breath or swollen by the evening. Here's why that happens. Many so-called light meals are not as gentle on your heart as they seem. Just because something is low in fat or calories doesn't mean it's low in sodium or chemicals. And when your heart is sensitive, that difference matters. Let's take the store-bought salad as an example. The greens may be fine, but the dressing, often packed with salt, sugar, and preservatives. Add croutons, processed meats like ham or turkey, and suddenly your light meal has more sodium than a fast food burger. Or think about soup. It's warm. It feels comforting. But canned soups are one of the worst hidden sources of salt in the modern diet. One small bowl can contain over half the sodium you need for the entire day. That's why some people feel their rings get tighter or their ankles puff up after what they thought was a healthy lunch. Even sandwiches can be tricky. Bread alone often has more salt than people realize. Add in deli meats, cheese, and sauces, even in small amounts, and you have a meal that pushes your heart to pump harder without giving it real support. The reason this matters is because your heart is affected by every bite. Meals that are high in sodium, low in fiber, and packed with hidden sugars force your body to hold on to fluid, raise your blood pressure, and work harder to digest, all of which make your heart feel heavy and overworked. So what's a better way? Choose meals made from fresh, simple ingredients. A homemade salad with olive oil and lemon, steamed vegetables with beans, a bowl of fresh soup you make at home with real herbs and low-sodium broth. These options don't just fill you up, they support your blood flow, reduce swelling, and give your heart space to breathe. The trick is to stop falling for the label that says light. Read the back, look for the salt, ask how many ingredients are in it and how many you recognize. The fewer, the better. Your heart doesn't need fancy. It needs real. And when you give it meals that are gentle, clean, and fresh, it will respond. You'll feel the difference not just in your chest, but in your energy, your mood, and your sleep. In the next part, we'll look inside your freezer, because one of the biggest dangers to your heart may be something you've been heating up for years without a second thought. Food number 4, the hidden danger in the freezer. You're tired after a long day. You open the freezer and reach for something easy. A microwave dinner, a frozen pizza, maybe even a veggie stir-fry kit that promises a healthy meal in minutes. It feels smart, convenient, and even better than ordering fast food. But here's the truth. Many frozen meals, even the ones with vegetables on the front, are quietly harming your heart. The biggest problem with frozen foods is not the cold. It's what's hiding inside. Too much salt, added sugars, and preservatives meant to keep the food tasting good after months in storage. These ingredients don't just make the food last longer, they make your heart work harder. Most frozen meals, even the ones labeled heart-healthy or low-calorie, are packed with sodium. One single tray can contain more than half your recommended daily limit. And when you heat that up, eat it fast, and follow it with something sweet or starchy, you're asking your heart to manage a heavy load in a very short time. If you've ever felt bloated, swollen, or unusually tired after a frozen meal, it's not just your imagination. These foods often cause your body to retain fluid, raise your blood pressure, and disturb your sleep. You may not notice it right away, but over time, this constant pressure can lead to more serious symptoms and even hospital visits. It's not just the salt. Many frozen foods are made with cheap oils, processed meats, and additives that confuse your body. They don't give you lasting energy. They spike your blood sugar, then let it crash. And for people over 45, whose hearts are already more sensitive, that crash can lead to fatigue, dizziness, or a heavy feeling in the chest. Even vegetable-based frozen meals can be tricky. Often, they're coated in sauces high in sodium and sugar, or the vegetables have been sitting so long that most of the nutrients are gone. What you're left with is the illusion of health without the benefits your heart needs. So what can you do? The freezer can still be your friend, but only when you fill it with the right things. Frozen fruits, plain vegetables with no sauce, homemade meals you cooked in bulk and froze yourself. These are not shortcuts. They're smart choices that give your heart what it truly needs: real food, with real ingredients and no surprises. The next time you open your freezer, take a moment, read the label. Ask yourself if this meal is helping your heart or hiding behind words like light and healthy. Your body always knows the difference, and your heart will feel the difference too. Food number 5, the drink that sneaks in daily. You sit down for a meal. Or maybe you're working, reading, watching television, and next to you is something so normal, so common, that you don't even think twice about it: a drink. Maybe it's soda. Maybe it's a fruit juice. Maybe it's a bottle of iced tea, or even a sports drink. It could even be something labeled as low sugar, 0 calories, or natural. It feels refreshing, satisfying, and familiar. But behind that cool sip is a quiet danger, especially for your heart. After the age of 45, your body becomes more sensitive to what you drink, not just what you eat. And this is where many people get caught off guard. You might be watching your salt. You might even be cooking fresh meals. But every time you drink something sweet or something pretending not to be sweet, you're asking your heart to work harder than it should. Let's start with the obvious. Soda. Whether it's regular or diet, soda is one of the most damaging beverages for heart health. Regular soda is loaded with sugar. One can often has 30 to 40 grams. That's nearly 10 teaspoons in one drink. When that sugar hits your system, your blood sugar spikes, your insulin rises, and your body reacts. It stores fat. It holds water. Your blood pressure climbs. Your heart rate increases. And if your heart is already struggling, this small drink turns into a major trigger. But diet soda is no safer. It may not have sugar, but the artificial sweeteners inside confuse your body. They make you crave more food. They affect how your gut processes nutrients. They may even increase inflammation, and when your blood vessels are inflamed, your heart has to push harder to get blood where it needs to go. Over time, that extra pressure adds up. You feel it in your breath, in your sleep, in your energy. Now let's talk about juice. You might be thinking, but juice is healthy, right? It's from fruit. That's partly true. Real fruit contains fiber, which helps slow down how sugar moves through your body. But most fruit juices, even 100% juice, remove the fiber and leave behind the sugar. That glass of orange juice in the morning, it could have as much sugar as a soda. Your body doesn't care whether the sugar came from a fruit or a factory, it reacts the same way. Some people think switching to natural drinks helps. But read the label. Many teas, flavored waters, or wellness drinks still contain high levels of sweeteners, preservatives, or sodium. And for a heart that's aging, Even a small amount of the wrong ingredient can make a big impact. You might not feel it today, but your heart remembers. Every sip sends a message. Sports drinks are another trap. They were designed for athletes, people losing large amounts of fluids and salt through intense exercise. But most people drinking them are not running marathons. They're sitting at work or resting at home. And when you drink those extra electrolytes and sugars without needing them, your body holds on to what it doesn't use, and your heart ends up managing the excess. Caffeine is also worth mentioning. A cup of coffee or tea in moderation can be okay. But once you add sugar, cream, or flavored syrups or drink multiple cups a day, the heart begins to feel the pressure. Caffeine can raise your heart rate, tighten your blood vessels, and increase anxiety. All of this makes your heart beat faster and harder, especially if it's already weakened. So why do we keep drinking these things? Because they're everywhere. They taste good, they give us a little energy, and most importantly, no one ever told us how they affect the heart. We've been warned about fried foods, red meat, and smoking. But drinks? They often fly under the radar. And because they don't make us feel full, we forget to count them. But they count. In fact, they may be doing more harm than the food on your plate. A single drink can undo the benefits of an otherwise healthy meal. So what can you do? Start by drinking more water. It sounds simple, but it's one of the most powerful things you can do for your heart. Water helps your blood flow smoothly. It reduces swelling. It supports your kidneys in removing extra salt. And it keeps your heart from having to fight against thick, sticky blood. If you find plain water boring, add a slice of lemon, cucumber, or fresh mint. These natural flavors give you something refreshing without the sugar, chemicals, or pressure on your heart. Herbal teas are another great option. Choose ones without caffeine, like chamomile, ginger, or rooibos. They calm the nervous system, support digestion, and hydrate the body gently. Your heart loves that kind of rhythm. And if you miss the fizz, try sparkling water with no added sugars or flavors. Just bubbles, maybe a squeeze of citrus. It gives you the experience of soda without the damage. Changing what you drink is one of the easiest habits to shift. You don't have to learn a new recipe. You don't need extra time. All you need is awareness. And once you make the switch, your heart will feel it within days. Less bloating, less pressure, better sleep, clearer energy. So the next time you open a bottle, read the label. Ask yourself, is this hydrating me or harming me? Because every drink is a choice. And after 45, those choices matter more than ever. You've taken care of others. You've worked hard. You've earned the right to feel better every day. And protecting your heart can start with something as small as what you pour into your glass. Coming up next, we'll bring everything together with one clear message. Your heart is listening. And the foods you choose or avoid can change your future more than you think. Now you've seen it clearly. 5 common foods and drinks, each one familiar, each one quietly making your heart work harder. It's not about guilt. It's not about fear. It's about awareness. Because once you know what to look for, you can start making smarter swaps that truly protect your heart. This isn't about giving up everything you love. It's about choosing real food over processed options. It's about cooking more at home when you can. It's about checking labels and paying attention to how your body feels after meals. These are small changes, but over time, they add up. They lower your blood pressure, they reduce swelling, they improve your sleep and your energy, and they give your heart the space it needs to do its job without fighting every day. If you're over 45, your body is still strong, still capable of healing, still full of life. But it needs your support, not through extreme diets or strict rules, just through care, consistency, and conscious choices. Maybe today is the day you stop buying that salty snack. Maybe tomorrow you drink water instead of juice. Maybe next week you try cooking a simple soup instead of heating a frozen meal. Every step is a message to your heart that says, I'm listening. I care. I want you to keep going. And if this video helped you feel more confident, more informed, or more hopeful, please give it a like. It helps more people discover the truth about everyday health. And if you haven't already, subscribe to MediMint. We're here to guide you, support you, and make heart care easy to understand one step at a time. You don't have to change everything overnight, but start today. Make one better choice, then another, and another. Your heart will notice, and so will your life.